Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about something deep, something raw, something many of us often overlook, the way we communicate not just with others, but with ourselves. Men. Strong, silent, resilient. The world expects us to be unshakable, to have it all together, to always know what to do. But there's something that men, for the most part, won't tell you. Something we crave more than anything else. It's not about strength. It's not about power. It's not about the external victories we achieve or the accolades we collect. It's about this. We crave affirmation. We crave connection. We are often told, both directly and indirectly, that we have to be the ones who give, who provide, who carry the weight. But let me tell you something. Deep down, we too are human. We too long for that moment where someone sees us, truly sees us, acknowledges us beyond the surface, beyond what we've built, beyond the armor we wear. Because what you may not realize is that men are often caught in a paradox. We want to be loved, but we are afraid of being vulnerable. We want to be heard, but we are afraid of what might happen if we speak up. There's a disconnection, a silent yearning that many of us carry. And here's the powerful truth. Men won't always tell you this, but we need to hear it. We crave being reminded that we are seen for who we truly are, not just as providers or protectors, but as human beings with emotions, dreams, and insecurities. Think about it. How often do you tell the men in your life, whether it's your partner, your father, your friend, or your son, that they are valued for who they are, not for what they do? That their worth doesn't come from how much they earn or how many goals they achieve. We need to hear that we matter, not because of our accomplishments, but because of our essence, the very core of us. That we are worthy of love and care just as we are. So I invite you to look at the men in your life differently. Don't wait for us to ask for validation, because often we won't. Our pride can sometimes get in the way. But just like you, we are driven by a deep inner desire for connection, for encouragement, for love. Men need to hear these words too. I appreciate you, I see you, I love you. Not for what you do, but for who you are. When you speak those words, when you give us that affirmation, something shifts inside us. A deep transformation begins. We become more confident, more secure. Our inner worlds shift from fear to possibility. When we feel truly valued, we can begin to expand beyond our old limitations. We can step into the best version of ourselves. The version of ourselves that isn't afraid to be vulnerable, to grow, to evolve. Now let me ask you, how can you begin to change the narrative? How can you start offering this kind of affirmation to the men around you? Remember, the words you speak hold power. They can break down walls or build them. They can inspire change or reinforce limitations. And for the men in your life, these words can be the spark that ignites their inner transformation. Because we all want the same thing, to be seen, to be loved, and to know, without a doubt, that we are enough. Men won't always tell you this, but we crave hearing it. And when you say it, you will unlock a power in us that neither of us knew existed. Thank you. Affirmation is more than just a word. It's a powerful force that shapes our reality. It is the act of acknowledging someone's worth, their actions, and their being in a way that resonates deeply with their sense of self. For many, affirmation is something we receive from others, but it is also something we give to ourselves. When we affirm another person, we are telling them that they matter, that they are seen and heard, and that their existence has value. For men specifically, affirmation can feel like a lifeline, something often sought but rarely voiced. It is the unspoken desire to be recognized beyond what we do, beyond our achievements and our roles. Often men find themselves trapped in the cycle of proving their worth through actions and accomplishments. The external world demands success, strength, and resilience, and yet, within that framework, there is a yearning for acknowledgement that transcends performance. The act of affirmation can provide a sense of validation, an assurance that who we are at our core is enough. It is not about accolades, not about tangible achievements. It is about recognition as a human being, deserving of love and respect simply for existing. When affirmation is given, it has the power to disarm fear and self-doubt, creating a safe space for growth, expression, and connection. In relationships, whether personal or professional, the ability to affirm others, to lift them up with your words, creates a ripple effect that fosters trust and intimacy. It is an act of love and kindness, a way to encourage someone to keep going, to evolve, and to step into their best version of themselves. Affirmation is a gift, not just for the recipient, but for the one giving it as well. It deepens bonds and strengthens the foundation of every relationship. Connection is the thread that ties us together, the invisible bond that we seek and need to feel truly understood and valued. It goes beyond mere communication. It is the deep sense of knowing that we are seen, heard, and appreciated for who we truly are. In the context of men, connection is often something that is not readily spoken about, yet it is one of the most fundamental needs we have as human beings. Men particularly can find themselves distanced from their emotions, isolated by expectations of stoicism and self-reliance, leaving them feeling disconnected even in the presence of others. This sense of disconnection can be felt on many levels. Men might be physically present but emotionally distant, caught in a cycle of internal struggle, unable to share their thoughts or feelings with those around them. This often stems from societal pressures that reinforce the idea that emotional vulnerability is a weakness. However, true connection is born from vulnerability. When we allow ourselves to open up, to let others in, we create an opportunity for authenticity. It's in these moments that the deepest connections are formed. When men experience genuine connection, it provides them with a sense of validation, a recognition that they are more than just their outward roles. It is not about being perfect or meeting expectations. It is about being real. This realness forms the foundation for deeper relationships where true understanding and compassion flourish. A strong connection allows for growth, healing, and transformation. It removes the barriers of fear, judgment, and misunderstanding, creating a space where both parties can thrive. Whether it's with a partner, a friend, or even within oneself, connection fuels the drive for meaningful change, helping us to evolve into more complete versions of who we are. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, particularly among men who are taught from a young age to be strong, resilient, and unyielding. This societal expectation creates an internal conflict, as a desire to show vulnerability is often suppressed in favor of maintaining an image of invulnerability. However, the truth is that vulnerability is not a weakness. It is a gateway to strength, intimacy, and growth. When men allow themselves to be vulnerable, they open the door to a deeper connection with themselves and others, one that is built on honesty and authenticity. Men, like anyone else, experience a wide range of emotions, from fear and sadness to joy and excitement. Yet the pressure to conceal these emotions can lead to emotional suppression, isolation, and an inability to fully express one's true self. Vulnerability, in this context, becomes an act of courage. It takes immense bravery to let go of the carefully constructed walls around the heart and expose one's raw, unguarded self. By embracing vulnerability, men create an opportunity for emotional healing and the development of meaningful relationships based on mutual understanding. When vulnerability is allowed to flow freely, it fosters trust and deeper emotional intimacy. It enables men to connect on a level that transcends superficial interactions, allowing them to be seen for who they truly are, beyond their exterior armor. This process of being open and honest can lead to profound personal growth, as it encourages men to confront and process emotions they may have long ignored. Rather than being a sign of weakness, vulnerability becomes a powerful tool for self-discovery, a way to dismantle the barriers that limit emotional connection and ultimately personal transformation. Empowerment is the driving force that enables individuals to take control of their lives, to step into their full potential, and to make choices that align with their true desires. For men, empowerment is not just about gaining power over others or achieving success in the conventional sense. It's about tapping into the inner strength that resides within, the ability to stand tall in one's authenticity, and to have the confidence to pursue one's dreams regardless of external pressures. True empowerment stems from the understanding that the power to shape one's destiny lies within. Men in particular can often find themselves in environments where expectations dictate their actions, where success is measured by external benchmarks, careers, wealth, status. These external metrics can make men feel as though their true sense of self is tied to what they achieve or how they are perceived. However, real empowerment is about breaking free from these constraints. It's about stepping away from the need for validation from the outside world and realizing that the only validation that truly matters is self-validation. Empowerment comes from within. It's about reclaiming control over one's thoughts, feelings, and actions. It's about choosing to rise above the limitations that others impose and to chart one's own path. When men feel empowered, they move through the world with purpose, confidence, and resilience. They are not defined by the expectations placed upon them, but by their own choices and the courage to live authentically. Empowerment is the realization that they are capable of creating the life they want, that they have the ability to rise above challenges, and that they are worthy of pursuing their deepest desires and aspirations. This internal strength becomes the foundation for a life of fulfillment, purpose, and growth. Transformation is not a mere change in outward circumstances. It is a profound shift that occurs within. It's the process of evolving from one state of being to another, often driven by new awareness, growth, and the willingness to let go of old patterns. For men, transformation can feel daunting as it challenges deeply ingrained beliefs about identity, strength, and worth. But true transformation occurs when we embrace the discomfort of change, stepping into the unknown with courage, and the understanding that this journey leads to a more authentic version of ourselves. Men in particular may struggle with transformation because it often involves confronting emotions and vulnerabilities that they have been conditioned to suppress. Society teaches that men must remain unyielding, emotionally stoic, and always in control. However, transformation requires us to embrace the full spectrum of our humanity, to accept that growth involves both triumphs and struggles. It asks us to reevaluate who we are, what we value, and what we want from life. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It's a continuous process, one that involves shedding old beliefs, habits, and fears that no longer serve us. As men begin to embrace the possibility of transformation, they unlock the power to change not only their own lives, but also the way they interact with the world around them. This process can lead to greater emotional intelligence, a deeper sense of connection with others, and the courage to take risks in pursuit of personal fulfillment. The key to transformation lies in self-awareness, the ability to see beyond the surface and understand the forces driving our behaviors, thoughts, and emotions. Through this awareness, men can break free from the limitations they've imposed on themselves and step into a new chapter of personal growth, becoming more aligned with their true selves. Transformation becomes not just an aspiration, but a natural outcome of embracing life's challenges with an open heart and mind. Worth is an intrinsic quality that cannot be measured by external accomplishments, appearances, or how others perceive us. It's a deep, fundamental understanding of one's value, independent of achievements or material success. For men, the concept of worth is often intertwined with their ability to perform, provide, and protect. Society teaches that their value lies in their ability to meet certain expectations, to be strong, successful, and self-sufficient. But the truth is, true worth is not determined by these external markers. It is innate, woven into the very fabric of who we are as human beings. Men often struggle with their sense of worth because they are taught that their value is conditional, based on what they do and how they are seen by others. This creates a cycle of seeking validation from outside sources, whether through professional success, relationships, or approval from peers. Yet, no external validation can ever truly fulfill the deep, unshakable need for self-worth. True worth is rooted in self-acceptance and the understanding that each individual is inherently valuable, regardless of circumstances. When men begin to recognize and accept their intrinsic worth, it shifts their entire perspective on life. They no longer feel the pressure to constantly prove themselves or to live up to others' expectations. Instead, they can operate from a place of authenticity and self-assurance. This sense of worth is not tied to their successes or failures, but to the core of who they are. Imperfect, yet deserving of love, respect, and fulfillment. Once men embrace their inherent worth, they are empowered to pursue their passions, build deeper connections, and live a life that aligns with their true values and desires. Versionmation is the act of acknowledging someone's feelings, actions, and existence in a way that reinforces their sense of worth and importance. It's the emotional affirmation that reassures individuals that they are seen and understood, not just for their external achievements, but for who they are at their core. For men, validation is often overlooked or not openly sought as society places more emphasis on self-reliance and stoicism. Yet beneath this exterior, the desire for validation is just as strong. Men, like anyone, need to feel that their efforts, emotions, and presence matter. The lack of validation can lead to feelings of inadequacy, loneliness, and frustration. When men are not validated, especially in emotional and personal contexts, they may begin to question their value, doubting whether they are truly seen or understood. This can lead to a disconnection not only from others, but also from themselves. Without external validation, the internal dialogue often becomes negative, filled with self-doubt and insecurity. The need for validation is not about seeking constant praise or approval, but about being recognized as a whole person, deserving of respect, love, and care. When validation is given authentically, it has the power to transform someone's sense of self. For men, receiving validation can create a deep emotional release, allowing them to embrace their full range of emotions and capabilities. It can encourage them to be more open, more vulnerable, and more connected with others. Rather than living in a constant state of proving themselves, they can shift toward living with purpose and confidence, knowing that they are valued for who they are, not just for what they do. Validation in its truest form empowers men to step into their full potential, unburdened by the need for constant external approval. Strength is often seen as an external quality, the ability to overcome obstacles, to endure hardship, and to maintain control in difficult situations. For men, strength is typically equated with resilience, the capacity to push through adversity without showing vulnerability. This external form of strength is highly valued in society as it demonstrates grit, determination, and an unwavering commitment to achievement. However, true strength goes far beyond this. It's not simply about enduring. It's about having the courage to face one's own fears, emotions, and insecurities, and to continue growing in the face of them. Real strength is rooted in emotional intelligence and self-awareness. It involves the ability to confront difficult emotions, whether fear, sadness, or uncertainty, and to embrace them rather than avoid or suppress them. Many men have been conditioned to believe that showing emotion is a sign of weakness, yet true strength lies in being able to express and process these feelings in healthy ways. It's the strength to ask for help when needed, to admit when something is wrong, and to open up in relationships, whether with family, friends, or a partner. Moreover, true strength is also the ability to stand in one's authenticity. It's about resisting the pressures of societal expectations and choosing to live a life aligned with one's values and desires. This kind of strength is not about conforming to what others think is strong or valuable, but about owning your individuality and embracing your unique path. When men tap into this deeper, more authentic strength, they find the power to lead fulfilling lives not just for themselves, but for those they love and support. Strength in its purest form is about having the courage to evolve, to be vulnerable, and to stay true to who you are. Human essence is the core of who we are, beyond the roles we play or the labels we wear. It's the part of us that is timeless, unchanging, and profoundly connected to the deeper truths of life. For men especially, understanding and embracing their human essence can be a transformative experience. Society often encourages men to identify themselves through external measures, their job, their success, their relationships, or their physical strength. These external markers are valuable, but they don't define the entirety of who we are. The human essence is the part of us that connects us to something much greater than our circumstances, something that cannot be measured or seen, but can only be felt. When men begin to tap into their essence, they begin to understand that they are not just the sum of their achievements, their possessions, or their image. Instead, they are complex beings, full of potential, capable of love, vulnerability, and transformation. This essence is where true self-worth and self-love are born. It is the part of us that is unafraid to acknowledge imperfections, knowing that imperfection is a natural part of the human experience. This deeper connection to one's essence brings a profound sense of peace. When men are in touch with their essence, they no longer feel the pressure to prove themselves in superficial ways. They start to make decisions based on what feels true to their inner self, not on external expectations. Their relationships become more genuine, their actions more intentional, and their sense of fulfillment more profound. Recognizing and embracing one's human essence is the key to living a life that is not only successful in the external world, but also deeply satisfying and aligned with one's true nature. Emotional depth is the richness of our Emotional experiences, the ability to feel and understand the full range of emotions that make us human. It is often believed that men particularly must limit their emotional expression, that showing vulnerability or sensitivity is a weakness. Society frequently associates emotional depth with women, while men are encouraged to remain stoic and in control. However, emotional depth is not something that diminishes a man's strength. It enhances it. It allows him to connect more deeply with others, understand his own inner world, and navigate life's challenges with greater resilience. When men tap into their emotional depth, they discover an entire dimension of their being that has long been neglected or underdeveloped. They are able to experience joy, sorrow, love, fear, and every emotion in between with greater authenticity and understanding. This emotional range not only enriches their lives, but also enhances their relationships as they become more capable of empathy, compassion, and meaningful connection. A man who embraces emotional depth can navigate conflict with clarity and grace and approach challenges with an open heart and mind, rather than reacting from a place of fear or rigidity. Emotional depth is also about self-awareness. It's the ability to reflect on one's emotions and understand their source, to not only feel, but also to process and grow from those feelings. This awareness leads to greater emotional intelligence, enabling men to respond to life's ups and downs with a deeper sense of calm and understanding. When emotional depth is embraced, it creates space for healing, personal growth, and a more fulfilling, connected existence.